Ladies and gentlemen, instead of thinking about the police, about the police department, the important thing that we think we need to solve now, the main problem we need to solve now is about how to save so many lives of the people in the whole of the world. About our motion today is this House prefers the strategy of pushing for institutional reform to address police abuse and misconduct rather than defunding the police. And if you see the status quo, about 1,287 personnel of police in Indonesia do a violence to a civilians and also other violence too, include like drugs and persecution and then illegal fees. But before I'm going to my argument, here I have 2 points of rebuttal, which is the first about the government side of the house. Said that they want to make a recruitment more specific to choose an Asian, Latino, and Black to prevent racism. But we can all of us know that racism is not just coming by skin tone, but the racism is come from the mindset of people. So even that their skin tone is different, but even that their skin tone is different, but their mindset not about racism, that is nothing, ladies and gentlemen. So if you just always give attention about how to prevent racism by make a police more various skin tone, that is not effective, because we know that the racism is not just about the skin tone, ladies and gentlemen. And then the second point and the second rebuttal, is racism. Okay, about the racism, because the government side of the house is always talking about the racism, but if it's just means that the government side of the house is trying to blind about what the other case that is mostly what is the biggest case, or the other case is really urgent too, like drugs and the illegal fee. This is really important. This is what we need to solve, rather than just racism. Even the racism is important, but government side of the house is trying to blind about the other case. So this is just, I think that their argument is really specific, because they just always talking about the racism. And then I'm going to my stance, because we want to relocate and defund the police. So our stand is we want to defund and relocate the police to healthy side and the education side. So it will give more sense to the biggest problem now. Why I can say be like that? Because we all know the status quo. We all know the main problem that the world has fight now. The world has fight with the COVID-19. This is really good solution to us, to defund the police, pay, then relocate them and defund them to the education and the healthy side. What does it mean? It means we can't the violence or the abuse of police is make more sense. It can make more give a help to the human instead of just changing the structure of institutional reforms. So I think our statement is make more sense than the government side of the house. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what I mean about we have to relocate this to the healthy side. We can see in the healthy side, the country, especially in Indonesia, our country is really need money. Is really need a lot of money to healthy operational, to healing operational, to heal the COVID-19 victims. This is really urgent, because what our country need to solve now is a COVID-19, because COVID-19 is the main problem in this country. If the COVID-19 is still if the COVID is if there is still a COVID-19 in this country, every sector in this country will be slow, or will be not run better. So if the COVID-19 exists in this country, all of the sector we can say that all of the sector is not run as good. So what we must do now, we must to give full attention to the healing operational, and then the funding doctors and tools to healing operational, because if the COVID-19 is solved, we can do activities normally, we can do all of the sector normally, so there is no problem again, because COVID-19 is the main problem. If we solve this problem, all the things in this country can run normally, so we can do our normally life again. And then the second is about the education. Because of the COVID-19, this account of the COVID-19 again, the COVID-19 is the main problem. It's give impact to the education. So the police that do the abuse or misconduct must to defund them. We must to defund them, and then relocate them to help the education. Why we must to help the education? We know that in Indonesia there is still so many district, or there's still so many district or there is still so many students that live in the district, and in that district there's so hard to buy packet or to buy internet data. So we must to help them. We must to help them to do their education. We must to help them instead of just changing the structure of police department. This is really important, because they are the student is our next generation. They are our infestation. So we want to pay more attention to them, ladies and gentlemen. And then help student for online learning, of course, like what I mentioned earlier. So we must to help them to reallocate the funds to the education side of the house, to buy them the online data, so they can learning online, and then learning online, then they can get the education that like as usually that they must to have, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why we are here as a government, as a negative, as a opposition side of the house. We are extremely believe that we are give more sense, or we are our mechanism make more sense than what the government side of the house bring, because we are want to solve the problem, the main problem of this world, also of this country. Then we can do all of the normally thing, and we can solve the problem of police later after the COVID-19 is over. So that's why we are proud to oppose.